Welcome back. Since you're here, I know you're hungry for part 2 of the legendary car hailing system, right? I totally get it, because when you stumble upon a manhwa this awesome, it's like a bag of chips. One is never enough. Check it. In this realm of online reviews, bringing in the bad ones is the name of the game. Every time our hero nabs a negative critique, cha-ching. Quality rewards rain down, and I'm talking about the good stuff here. Real treasure and fortune. Hats off to the brilliant minds at Dax and Gal Animation for this stroke of genius.
No.
So realize a whirlwind and reading's a distant dream. No worries. Animation's recaps got you, and we are ready to catch you up on all the action you may have missed. A round of applause for the masterminds behind this cinematic masterpiece. Buckle up, because we're hitting the road for more. Let's go. In our last thrilling chapter, our hero Yang Chen was facing another challenging situation while working as a car-hailing driver. And yes, you guessed it, he received another bad review. You'd think bad reviews would be a downer, right? No, not in this story. Bad reviews for Yang mean something entirely different. They are equivalent to fantastic rewards. This time, the reward was seriously awesome. I mean, it's a swanky house in the Beijing #1 villa that costs a jaw-dropping 500 million. Really makes me wonder if I should switch careers and become a car-hailing driver too, right? Heck yes, I would, if only there was a system set up like this one. As Yang cruises to his new home, he suddenly finds himself in an unexpected situation. Out of the blue, a fiery and sexy redhead dashes towards his car and leaps inside. Now you might be wondering, what on earth is happening? Well, this spirited gal has a rather curious assumption that she seems to think that Yang is a taxi driver, and she's so convinced of this that she immediately offers him money. Yang, on the other hand, is a man of principles. He refuses to let this confusion slide. He attempts to calmly explain to the eager and drop gorgeous redhead that in order for her to be taken anywhere, she needs to place an order first. After all, that's how these things usually work in the world of car hailing. But as you can imagine, things quickly go from confusing to chaotic. Suddenly, as if out of thin air, another character enters the scene and he's not happy. Who is this guy? Well, he claims to be none other than the fiery redhead's boyfriend, and things are starting to really get messy. You see, this whole mess seems to revolve around the redhead's father. Apparently, he's resorted to offering her as a bride to settle a debt with this particular gentleman standing outside the car. And let me tell you, this dude is quite the character. He's the type who would throw a tantrum if there's no breakfast ready when he wakes up. Not exactly the ideal boyfriend material, if you ask me. Violent, arrogant, and aggressive. No thanks. Now our fiery redhead finds herself in quite the dilemma. She's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and she pleads desperately with our man Yang to step on the gas and get her out of this sticky situation. But you know what? Yang isn't one to easily get entangled in others' drama. His initial suggestion: let's call the police to sort out this mess. But the girl insists that involving the police wouldn't help much since they lack the funds to settle the debt. Against his better judgment, he eventually gives in and agrees to help her out. What a gentleman. As they're on their way to who knows where, it seems like the redhead's trying to flirt with Yang. However, our Yang is having none of it. He's brutally honest and straightforward, telling her flat out, "I'm not interested in you." And just when you thought things couldn't possibly get any crazier, out of nowhere, the angry boyfriend somehow manages to catch up with them and decides to take things to a whole new level. He attempts to crash their car, but guess what? Instead of Yang's car being smashed to bits, it's the boyfriend's car that comes dangerously close to crashing. After all the chaos, they finally make it to the nearest station. Yang's patience has run thin, so he tells the fiery redhead to hit the road, literally. She's not thrilled about it. She had her heart set on Yang being her knight in shining armor. Oh well, reality can be a bummer. Hit the streets you came from, lady.
He cold. She belongs to the streets.
Yang's roller coaster of a date isn't over yet. He heads to his brand spanking new luxurious home. I mean, we're talking about a house that probably has its own butler's butler. It's so fancy that even the doormat probably costs more than most people's cars.
What?
And right when Yang's cruising through life, his phone alerts him with a buzz that something's up. It turns out to be Secretary from the island group sliding into his notifications with an invite to a rendezvous with the bigwigs, the shareholders. And guess who snagged a front row seat on this shareholder roller coaster? Yep, it's none other than that Bob Cut dude's dad from the drama-filled Chapter 3. Remember that blind date guy tangled in the awkward, almost violent situation with Yang and the girl he'd spent the night with after their fight? But Yang's not one to tiptoe around issues. Oh no, he's got a list of complaints longer than a giraffe's neck. He's charging into that meeting like a knight on a mission, and he's not exiting without a hearty serving of apology. It's a clash of titans, but instead of swords and shields, they're wielding contracts and pens. Well, metaphorically at least, you see Yang's not about to let the Sky Curtain, that Bobcat Dad's investment company, join the Island Group Hotel's investors after the shenanigans his son pulled. So after some intense discussions, Yang swiftly exits the building, only to stumble into more trouble in the parking lot. I mean, seriously, Trouble seems to have a crush on Yang every chapter, but that's part of what makes this manhwa so awesome. Remember that guy who claimed to be the redhead girl's boyfriend? Well, he's back, and he's not looking for a fight. I mean, he's on a whole different level of revenge as he goes straight for Yang's car. At this point, I was seriously concerned for our guy Yang. This dude's got backup, and if they tag team him, Yang's chances of survival are looking slimmer than a toothpick. But the saga doesn't end there. Out of nowhere, the sexy redhead girl pops up again. And seriously, can we get some proper introductions over here? She's never really given us her name, so I'm just gonna keep calling her the redhead. As it turns out, things between the redhead and the annoying dude have taken a turn for the better. He didn't want to fight. He just wanted to wreck Yang's ride in revenge for running away with the redhead. And just when you think things can't get any wilder, enter the bob-cut-haired dude. His name's Zhang Long, by the way. And from the look of those cheeks, it seems like his dad gave him a good talking to with a side of patty cake to the face. Yang, being his sassy self, tells Zhang Long he'll only accept his apology if he helps the redhead girl pay off the annoying guy. But here's where it gets a little interesting. When Zhang Long learns that Yang's the second shareholder of the All-Island Hotel, he switches from smashing to begging. Talk about lessons in classism. But we know Yang, he doesn't let things slide that easily. He's the kind of guy who believes every action has an equal reaction. A little later, the cops arrive since the redhead girl called them. The annoying guy introduces himself as Zhang Hengji, and his father's none other than Zhang Yao, the chairman of the Yao Group. Clearly, he thinks money can buy him out of any mess. But the police aren't having it. Yang's also not interested in a quick payout. He wants to settle this in court. So off they go to the police station. In the station, Zhang Yao himself tries to mediate, offering Yang $1 million. But honestly, when you've got rewards worth more than $1 million, who's impressed? He immediately signed the papers, stating that the mediation had failed and left the station. Now, since Yang's car got smashed to bits, he's got to hoof it home. I mean, dude's got a pile of cash. Why not buy some of the world's rarest cars? But just as he's pondering his life choices, guess who pops up out of the blue? The system lady, rewarding him yet again for another bad review. This time, he scores a limited edition luxury car that looks as normal as it gets, perfect for his car-hailing gig.
Here comes the money!
Here we go.
And as if that's not enough, he gets a kiss from the gorgeous system lady.
Nice.
I swear Yang's living the dream. Back to Yang, who decides to head home. But as he's chilling on his porch, two ladies from a nearby house start giving him the eye. It turns out, one of them is Villa 8's owner, Su Yanong. And it appears that Su Yanong is quite curious about Yang, his appearance, his job, and the truth behind how he landed the swankiest mansion in the villa. She sends her Aunt Lan with a bottle of wine to Yang's place. Yang, being the decent guy he is, offers Aunt Lan a seat inside, but she politely declines and heads home. Su, on the other hand, is delighted to hear that Yang is a kind and decent young man. Now, back to Yang's adventures. He figures it's too early to call it a day, so he hits the road again. This time, his passenger is a couple and the girl has a curfew to make it to her dorm before 10:30. And here's a juicy tidbit about Yang. He's actually a student at that university too. It seems like he knows all the shortcuts. Speaking of which, we don't really know that much about Yang, do we? Here's hoping we get to uncover more in the upcoming chapters. Yang managed to get the girl to her dorm right on time. But guess what? The boyfriend had other plans. He intentionally delayed them, hoping the girl would miss her dorm curfew so he could take her to a hotel. Clearly, he was trying to mess things up for her. So he gave our man Yang a bad review, and Yang received a reward called Bajikwan, a legit combat technique. Yep, he basically turned into a one-man army overnight. As it turns out, the boyfriend had a plan to teach Yang a lesson for delivering his girlfriend home on time. He had his backup crew waiting, and since Yang had just acquired his new combat skill, he figured, why not use it? And he did. Let's just say those guys got to meet a young Bruce Lee before they even got the chance to lay a finger on our Yang. The girlfriend got wind of this, and Yang wisely advised her to break up with the jerk. So yeah, he received another bad review, and this time, the reward was physical enhancement and strengthening. In a nutshell, Yang quickly became the mightiest man on our planet. The next day, while Yang was out jogging, he ran into Sue. It struck him that he hadn't given her a gift in return, so he brought some tea to her place later. Sue insisted they should enjoy it together, but you know Yang. He's a busy bee, always ready to hit the road for more car-hailing adventures. And yep, Sue was genuinely surprised when she found out what Yang's gig was. Speaking of Yang, he got another order from that redhead girl, and it was pretty obvious she was trying to flirt. But Yang made it crystal clear he wasn't interested, and that's when she accused him of being gay.
Women.
Girl, simmer down and do it fast. Just because he's not into you doesn't mean he's gay. Another order comes in, and this time it's a different girl. At first, there was a bit of trouble with some hoodlum, trying to extort her for money. But Yang swooped in and saved the day. She even invited him to dinner, but Yang, ever the gentleman, politely declined. He gave her his number instead. While he was grabbing a bite to eat, he received a text from the girl saying her drink might have been tampered with. So Yang rushes to the hotel to make sure she's okay. Lo and behold, he crosses paths with that annoying guy, Zhang Hangji again. Turns out the girl and the annoying guy were once a couple. Basically, he spiked her drink to coerce her into going with him, and he got her roommates to help and back him up. Yang once again saves the day. He urges the girl to file a report, and she does. Later, he returns to the villa and finds Aunt Lan waiting at his doorstep, saying that Sue wants to share a cup of tea with Yang. But Yang claims he's too tired. I feel like he's got a new admirer on his hands. The next day, another customer comes along, and this guy looks and acts like a walking circus. This guy immediately took his shoes off, and trust me, the odor could probably scare away even the bravest bugs. Yang politely and repeatedly asks him to put his shoes back on, but he's stubborn as a mule. So Yang literally kicks him out of the car. I mean, if I were in Yang's shoes, I'd probably do the same. They have a bit of a scuffle, but when they realize Yang's driving a limited edition car, they quickly back down. Hey, still watching? Make sure to subscribe and smash that like button for a regular dose of our awesome anime content. And I'd wager all my ramen that you're intrigued, aren't you? To find out what happens next, be sure to watch this video all the way through. Before we dive into the next chapter, let's chat a bit about this manhwa. First off, let me tell you, the story takes some seriously wild turns. Just imagine bad reviews granting you fantastic rewards. That's a concept that's just so wild and unexpected, right? Yang, our main character, he's evolving in some pretty surprising ways as the chapters roll on. But you know what's really got me scratching my head? After a whopping 21 chapters, we still haven't been introduced to a female lead. Now let's talk about the colors and animation. It's a bit of a mixed bag, you know. There's a downside and an upside. But overall, there's this cute and calming color palette that makes you want to keep reading. What makes this series stand out is its knack for blending humor, drama, and just a hint of romance into one thrilling package. The witty back and forth between the characters feels like you're overhearing the funniest conversation in the room. And those unexpected twists in Yang's journey. They'll keep you guessing at every twist and turn. The legendary car hailing system isn't just a story, it's a joyride that leaves you both exhilarated, a bit tired, always craving more. Now, if you're wondering what caught my eye in today's recap, it has to be that moment when Yang rushed to help that adorable girl. I mean, I really liked how he didn't just brush off that text about someone tampering with her drink. It showed that Yang is genuinely kind-hearted and the kind of guy who doesn't let injustice slide. You know, at first, I thought this manhwa might have a bit of a harem vibe, but they intentionally steer clear of that. Remember the part when the redhead girl tried to flirt with Yang? He made it crystal clear that he wasn't interested. In many other manhwa, that's when the romantic drama would kick in, but not for Yang. He was resolute about his decision. What I appreciate most is how they portrayed Yang as a hero instead of some kind of pervert. It's refreshing to see him constantly saving the day. Plus, with his newfound physical strength, I have a feeling we're in for more action and drama in the upcoming chapters. But hey, what's your take on this? What part of today's recap grabbed your attention? Did you notice the classist behavior of most of the wealthy males? They had no shame in bragging with their rich daddy's money. Or were you too enthralled by fancy upper-class Sue or that sexy redhead girl to notice? All these super attractive women sure got me all excited and definitely piqued my interest. Let's get talking. Just a little FYI before we sign off. All the clips we've sprinkled in this video belong to their rightful creators, and our motto is all about having a legit, transformative conversation about this manhwa, sharing our love for it with y'all. Before we part ways, make sure to hit that like button, and if you made it all the way to the end with me, don't forget to comment. And Kitty Cat, this is your anime sensei signing off.